Well, good evening. Happy Valentine's Day to you. Thank you for spending it with your school board. Let's get, that was a joke. It's Tuesday, February the 14th, and we're going to go ahead and start our regular meeting. If you would, please stand with me, and we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance and then the Kids at Hope Pledge. Kids at Hope Pledge, please. As an adult and treasure hunter, I am committed to search for all the talents, skills, and intelligence that exist in all children in need. I believe all children are capable of success, no exceptions. Please be seated, and we're going to turn it over to the Port St. Lucie High School Chorus Department.
Races you must run. You will fall, you will rise, you will soar through the skies. Your new day has just begun. And when darkness closes around you, I will send my love to surround you. I will sing you the stars. Lift up your eyes wherever you are. You are not alone. Love will call you home. I will sing you the stars. There are mountains you must climb. There are pathways you must tread. You will give, you will grow, holding on, letting go. A new journey lies ahead. When you're lost and doubt builds inside you, I will send my love there to guide you. I will sing you the stars. Lift up your eyes wherever you are. soul and a heart. Bring together lives that have been torn apart. Share the joy. Find a friend. It's a never-ending gift that circles back again. This is why we sing, why we lift our voice, why we stand as one in harmony. This is why we sing, why we lift our voice. Take my hand and sing with me. Music builds a bridge, it can tear down a wall. Music is a language that can speak to one and all. This is why we sing, why we lift our voice, why we stand as one in harmony. This is why we sing, why we lift our voice. Take my hand and sing with me. This is why we sing. We sing. We
Under the direction of Mr. Hoggins, thank you so much. I just remember just the other day when they started chorus, and I said, "You're in your third year," and he says, "No, sir, I'm in my 6th year." So congratulations, thank you. And they're also going to Georgia, Atlanta, for competition May the 6th or 7th, and good luck to you guys and represent us well. Thank you again so much. We also have their administrators are here. If you're an administrator at Port St. Lucie High School, could you all stand? I see Principal Talise, Miss Manchester, Mr. Graves, Miss Belgray, and Miss Chazet. Thank you all so much for being here and coming out and supporting our school board. It's always great to open up with students leading us. Right now, we do need to go into a public hearing. This is the fun time of our meeting. I'm going to go ahead and do these one at a time. So we're going to start off with 2.1, and that's the Kings Highway Pecos Road property. So right now, basically what I'm going to do is lay the gavel down, open it up for anyone in the community that has anything to say, give it a minute or two, and then I'll close it, and I'll take a recommendation from the superintendent. This time, public hearing's open. Ready? This time, public hearing is closed. Mr. Superintendent, can I have your recommendation?
I recommend that the board approve and authorize execution of the resolution in substantially the form that is attached.
Board members, you heard the recommendation, Superintendent. Can I get a motion? Approval? So moved. Moved by Ms. Holly.
Second that.
Second by Dr. Mills. Any discussion? Seeing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries 5-0. Right now, we're going to head and open up the second public hearing, 2.2. This is the Floresta Elementary roundabout area. Public hearing is open to the public. Okay. Seeing none, we're going to go ahead and close the public hearing. Superintendent, can I have your recommendation?
I recommend the board approve and authorize execution of the resolution in substantially the form that is attached.
You've heard the recommendation of Superintendent.
So moved.
Moved by Dr. Mills. Second by Ms. Holly. Any discussion? Seeing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. The last one is 2.3. Public hearing is going to be open. Consideration for charter for Techno Arts Academy. Public hearing is open. Seeing none, I'm going to go ahead and close public hearing. Superintendent, can I have your recommendation?
I recommend the board approve the Techno Arts Academy charter for a period of 5 years as presented.
Board members, you heard the recommendation of superintendent.
So move, Superintendent.
Got a motion? Do I have a second? Second. I have a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Mr. Superintendent, can you take over special orders of business, please?
Okay, at this time, we'll have Ms. Lydia Martin, our Communications Chief, come up for some special awards.
Thank you. Good evening, Chairman Ingersoll, board members, and Superintendent Dr. Prince. St. Lucie Public Schools enjoys a robust partnership with Cambridge Assessment International Education, the organization by which students take highly rigorous Advanced International Certificate of Education courses known as ACE courses. Previously, the school district has been named the U.S. District of the Year in both 2020 and 2022. The U.S. District of the Year Award recognizes school districts that have consistently strong student performance in their schools and that continue to expand their offering of the Cambridge Pathway. Based on testing from last spring, 180 students across this district received Cambridge Scholar Award designations. Now, 2 students from Treasure Coast High School have received the Top in the Country Award. This is awarded to learners who have achieved the highest standard mark in the country in an individual subject. Joining us this evening is Gabriela Baez, who is scoring top in the country for Spanish language. If you could please come forward, Gabriela. Okay, thank you. Congratulations, Gabriela. Next, we have Olivia Gust, who is scoring top in the country for psychology. Please come forward, Olivia. Congratulations. And we have more good news to share. Fort Pierce Westwood Academy has earned the College Board's AP Computer Science Female Diversity Award for expanding young women's access to AP Computer Science principles. This award acknowledges 1,105 schools across the country for their work toward equal gender representation during the 2021-22 school year. Joining the administration of Fort Pierce Westwood Academy to accept the award is teacher Dr. Alan Rupert, who teaches this course at MOA, Marine Oceanographic Academy. If you want to come forward, please, to accept the award. Okay, at this time, well, congratulations. At this time, I'd like to invite Dr. Kevin Perry, who will introduce our guest speaker, who will read the Black History Month proclamation.
Chairman Ingersoll, school board members, Superintendent Prince, it's my pleasure to introduce Lucie Chambers, who's one of our dynamic teachers on special assignment at Longwood Elementary, to present our proclamation tonight. Mr. Chambers.
Thank you, Dr. Perry. The School Board of St. Lucie County Proclamation for National African American History Month, February 2023. Whereas the School Board of St. Lucie County takes pride in joining Americans throughout the country and various parts of the world in recognizing February 2023 as National African American History Month. And whereas African American History Month celebrates the contributions that African Americans have made to American history. And whereas National African American History Month had its origin in 1915 and was initiated in 1926 by Dr. Carter G. Woodson as Black History Week. And in 1976, the commemoration of Black history in the United States was expanded to Black History Month. And whereas in 1994 and 2002, the Florida legislature passed legislation to ensure that African and African American history content is taught in schools. And whereas this year's theme explores how African Americans continue to mobilize its resources and shape social movements to create a space for African Americans to thrive. And whereas it is appropriate to call upon schools and the community to observe the month of February with relevant programs, activities, and ceremonies to celebrate the many accomplishments of Black Americans, and for the School Board of St. Lucie County to recognize and promote these observances district-wide. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the School Board of St. Lucie County does hereby proclaim February 2023 as African American History Month. Thank you.
Mr. Superintendent. Mr. Superintendent, we request that you call for the adoption.
Yes, I recommend that we adopt the proclamation. All in favor?
Board members, you heard the recommendation of the superintendent. Can I get a motion? So moved. Second. Got a first, we got a second. Any discussion? Seeing none? Those in favor? Aye. Those opposed, motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Dr. Terry.
Thank you.
No? One more. Keep your eyes open, Jack.
Thank you. At this time, we are going to move on to our Star Awards. And first, we have Victoria Randolph, who was nominated by Assistant Principal Melissa Hutchings from Westgate K-8. Is Victoria here this evening? Okay, you can come on forward. She states that Victoria has a clear passion for literacy and closing the gaps for struggling readers. In addition to her regular duties, she goes above and beyond to organize school-wide literacy events and oversees the school's tutoring program. Congratulations and thank you for all that you do. Okay, congratulations. Next, we have Tavian Page Yearly, who is nominated by Christina Coppola from the Office of Teaching and Learning. Is Tavian here? Okay, there she is. Come forward, please. She states, as the big monitor, she is always eager to learn and implements best practices. Her impact is felt beyond St. Lucie West K-8 because she supports other behavior teams across the district. She is a role model for other big monitors where she models how to teach students replacement behaviors. Congratulations, Tavian. Okay, congratulations. And our final star award for this evening goes to Kenneth Snow. He was nominated by Principal Kelly Nigro at Weatherby Elementary. She states he always jumps right in and is willing to do whatever it takes to address the IT issues at the school. He has become embedded in the culture of the school, participating in events while he is on the Weatherby campus. He definitely goes above and beyond to help everybody meet their needs. Thank you for all that you do, Kenneth. Congratulations. Okay, thank you, and that concludes our special orders for this evening.
At this time, do we have an ESOL report? No, I didn't check my emails. No way. I got a report. This is from David Freeland. Thank you to the chair for allowing my report to be read into the record. This evening I want to report on just a few things. First, we've heard back from the Federal Mediation Services and they are able to arrange interest-based problem-solving training for us. We are now waiting for a sample agenda. They can do a single-day training but recommend a 2-day training. We're asking for in-person training. I would suggest that the board be included as they were years ago for the original training. We're trying to keep the ground small and including the core teams in this training. As soon as we have the sample agendas and more details, I will share that with the district team. Second, just as a follow-up to the business that were recently, the bonuses, not businesses. Just a follow-up to the bonuses that were recently paid, it is important to recognize how important it is to ESOL and the board in this district to continue to recognize the importance of the contribution that our professional staff, support staff provides to our students every day and negotiate bonuses for all our members. The district brought bonuses for all to the table without the need for the union to ask. Kudos. Thank you, board members. He didn't put that in here. Stick to the script. Third, public schools are facing increasing challenges and attacks from legislators in Tallahassee, and this year's regular session promises to be the most challenging session in years. Some of the news trickling out on the Capitol is promising, but far more of it is truly frightening for our public schools and especially our students. These challenges are not limited to our union as in prior years. Teachers, support staff, school boards, and even parents who disagree with legislative mandates are facing pressure. We will need to continue to work together for the benefit of our community and students. I am certain there will be much more to say once session gets underway. Finally, I have been continuing to meet with most of the board individually, and Mr. Ingersoll and I met in a unique way that I hope to continue with him. But I have some challenges meeting with a few of you. I found time to chat very beneficial, so if you are having a tough time connecting, I'll email you and see if I have a different time will work better for you. Thank you and good evening. And I'll go ahead and say Happy Valentine's Day on behalf of David. So, thank you for that report. CWA report. Seeing none. Do we have a Youth Advisory Council? Ms. Taylor here? Thank you, Ms. Taylor.
Good evening, Chairman Ingersoll, school board members, and Superintendent Prince. I hope all is well since my last address. I am pleased to announce that the St. Lucie Public Schools Youth Advisory Council now has a communication outreach committee composed of one council member from each high school. The committee meetings will be presided by its chairperson, Emma Morgan. We also look forward to working with Ms. Lydia Martin and Ms. Jamie Barbour to expand the council's social media presence and engagement within our community. In addition to discussion on council communications, council members were given the opportunity to represent our district during the Cognia Student Focus Group. Although the interview was roughly half an hour, we were able to provide insight into the accomplishments and positive aspects within the district, along with ways that we can improve and grow as a district. On behalf of the council, I would like to extend our gratitude to Ms. Bridget Hargadine for organizing the event, and Dr. Phyllis Gilworth for her openness to acknowledging and listening to youth voices and perspectives. The council looks forward to our next meeting on Tuesday, February 21st, that Fort Pierce Westwood Academy will graciously host. Thank you again for the love that you give the Youth Advisory Council, and have a happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you, Ms. Daniels. Board members, we need to adopt the consent agenda. Can I have a motion? I got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Do we have discussion? Seeing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries 5-0. Mr. Superintendent, can I have your recommendation?
I recommend the board approve the consent agenda as submitted.
Board members, you heard the recommendation of the superintendent. Can I have-
So move it be accepted. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Seeing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Mr. Superintendent, your report, please.
Okay, first of all, I wanted to recognize our Night of the Stars winners and also thank Dr. Perry, who helped coordinate that event along with our communications department. What a wonderful night it was to just kind of reconnect with, I guess, staff, having everybody in one spot with just a wonderful night, and I really appreciate all the participation of staff. I wanted to recognize some of our winners. First of all, Principal of the Year, Todd Smith from Treasure Coast High School, a principal that has Mr. Smith has led 2 of our high schools to A ratings, a truly outstanding professional and a model for all of our principals, and congratulations again, Mr. Smith. Assistant Principal of the Year, Angela Patton from Mariposa, was a winner also. And these folks got recognized at the Night of the Stars, but I just wanted to reiterate. Teacher of the Year, Anna Babcock, was from Fairlawn. Outstanding first-year teacher, Emily Morgan from Mariposa. School-related Employee of the Year, Joanne Padden from Fairlawn. And our Distinguished Minority Educator of the Year, Kim Herring-Nance from Fort Pierce Central. So once again, next I wanted to bring up, and I hate to do this for the board, but we are going to have to in just a moment take a couple of more pictures, but I'm going to bring up Mr. Ocampo, our Executive Director of Accountability and Assessment, to share some great results and just recognize the hard work of our school centers with regards to our graduation rate. Adrian?
Good evening, Chairman Ingersoll, school board members, and Superintendent Prince. Our core mission revolves around graduation, and I'm honored to share some of the really exciting news that we received a few weeks ago. So St. Lucie Public Schools earned a 90.8 graduation rate, and our comprehensive high school earned almost a 96% graduation rate within 4 years. As you can see, St. Lucie Public Schools showed an increase of 0.4% compared to the pre-pandemic rates from 2018-19. A huge accomplishment after these graduates had their sophomore year cut short and did not have the benefit of waivers from the state. So incidentally, the 2020 and 2021 graduation cohorts had the benefit of the algebra and the 10th grade ELA requirements waived. Even after these hurdles, we still showed an increase, which is a tribute to our faculty and staff. So as a former high school principal, as our superintendent is a former high school principal, we know that moving the graduation rate is extremely difficult metric to move. However, the men and women in this room, the graduation coaches, the assistant principals, guidance counselors, all collaborated with parents, and they are the experts in this effort to work relentlessly towards the goals that we have achieved. So this next slide shows that we are part of the top districts with more than 3,000 graduates. This slide shows that we are fourth among counties with more than 3,000 graduates, despite some of the economic challenges our families face compared to the other 3 counties. The number one hindrance to graduation is the economic challenges of our families and the obstacles that it creates for children who may need to work to assist their families prior to graduation. For example, if you look at St. Johns County and their free and reduced lunch rate, they have a 20% free and reduced lunch rate compared to St. Lucie, which is 70%. So when comparing our graduation and free and reduced lunch rate with our Treasure Coast neighbors, then considering the economic challenges that our neighbors do not have, we continue to show success. I cannot emphasize it enough that economic challenges impact our families and students, yet our students continue to thrive. We make a pledge before every board meeting that states that all children are capable of success, no exceptions. We do not use hurdles as an excuse. Instead, we met that challenge by staying above that 90% threshold. How we do that is by offering supports to our families so that those students have all of the opportunities they need to graduate. Some areas to celebrate include our statewide graduation rates and ranking among Black and ESE students. So you can see that our Black graduation rate is at 91.1%, which is 9.1% above the state average, and we're 8th in the state. We are 12th in the state for ESE graduation rate with an 89.3, and we are 5.8% above the state average. So to put all of this in perspective, if we look at the graduation rates of all of the Treasure Coast comprehensive high schools, four of our high schools are in the top 5. So you can see that success in the banners around the boardroom this evening, and later we will recognize those individual accomplishments. So also worth celebrating for our community is the fact that all of our schools have at least a 90% graduation rate, with Lincoln Park leading the way with 100%. If you look at the economic challenges that these high schools have and have overcome to perform at such high levels, then you can get a sense that the faculty and staff at these schools care deeply about our students and what that goal of graduation means to their life. So let's take a look at our trend line. So we can tell you that since 2015, graduation has been one of the priorities of our administration, and you can see the success is evident. Since 2017, St. Lucie Public Schools has had over a 90% or higher graduation rate for 6 straight years. We are only one of 4 districts in the state that can boast those statistics. Once again, this type of sustained excellence is a credit to our teachers, our guidance counselors, coaches, and principals in our district. The success since 2015 in closing the achievement gap is truly incredible. So we want to take a moment to draw your attention to the fact that this achievement gap in our district when it comes to graduation is virtually non-existent. In this trend line, we can see how close together the dots are that represent the 2022 graduation rate. Hispanic, Black, and white groups are all within 2% of each other, and all of these groups exceed the state graduation rate of 87%, which is represented by that bottom green line that you see. You can see how far we've gone in an upward trend since 2015. Again, one of the areas of focus over the past decade has been closing the achievement gap for Black students, and these percentages help paint that picture. We see how we have shown a 23% increase over the last 8 years. compared to the 14% increase of Black graduates across the state. It's also worth noting that not only has St. Lucie Public Schools students' graduation climbed 16% since 2015, but the rate is almost double of the state increase. So the next 4 slides will look at our student groups broken down by males and females, the first 2 by males. Our priority is the graduation rate of Black males, and this group has increased that graduation rate by 27%. As you can see, our young men have increased their graduation rate sizably since 2015. This is the same information from the line graph as shown in this table that you're looking at. In all 3 groups, males have increased their graduation rate by more than 10% since 2015. And now there is almost no difference between Black, Hispanic, and white males, as their graduation rates are 88%, 89%, and 88% respectively. Our young ladies have also increased their graduation rate since 2015. All groups are above 90%, with white and Black females at exactly the same graduation rate of 95%. So notice the gap lessening as Black females have increased 20% and white females have increased 13%. But once again, both groups are graduating in 4 years at a 95% rate. I would also like to add that many of our students graduate after 4 years with the incredible work of our alternative ed department and all of our high schools. It's evident that all of the professionals and parents are relentless at all levels to make sure that they have the right pressure and supports necessary so our kids cross that finish line. We have a great community of caring individuals that makes all of this success happen. So with that being said, I'll turn it back over to Dr. Prince.
Yes, board members, if we would, we've updated our murals to reflect our most recent graduation rates, and we wanted to take pictures with the board and the principal and their teams. So with that being said, we're going to do one more round of photos, and then I've got a couple of remarks, and I'm done. Thank you.
We're at Paris Central High School. Congratulations, Fort Pierce Westwood Academy. Congratulations, Lincoln Park Academy. Congratulations, St. Lucie West Centennial High School. Congratulations, Mosaic Digital Academy. Port St. Lucie High School, congratulations. and Treasure Coast High School. Congratulations.
Run the gauntlet.
All right. They can conclude their Valentine's Day festivities. They were out the door for that one. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Start. So a couple of other kind of important things I wanted to touch on.
Can I just interject real
Yep.
quick? Very important to me and everyone else. This did, looking at we were higher than Martin County again?
Higher, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
that's
Mr.
all I wanted to know. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter by how much, but just wanted to make that clear.
Well, just to add, I'm going to make a couple of remarks about the successes of the district in just a minute, because this ties into a lot of things that happened today that I just wanted to share with the board. But before I get there, I just wanted to say a couple of things. First of all, I wanted to thank the board for their participation in MLK and in the Grand Parade. Thought it was a great event. I want to thank the schools. There's a lot of time and effort that goes into those the floats and extra hours that our folks do, because it is, we care about that event, and I just wanted to thank also the board for their participation. I want to just share publicly the Grand Parade results. The overall winner was Fort Pierce High. For high schools, Port St. Lucie High was recognized. Middle K-8, first place was Forest Grove. Second place was Dan McCarty. Third place was Oak Hammock. For elementary, first place was Savannah Ridge. Second place was Windmill Point. And third place was FK Sweet. Our winners for kindness, first place was C.A. Moore, second place was Lakewood Park, and third place was Windmill Point. And then River's Edge and Savannah Ridge got the certificate of participation. But once again, it is Black History Month, and I wanted to recognize and thank all of our schools for their participation. Wanted to congratulate Centennial Boys Basketball District winners. They play Windermere from Orlando on the 16th in the first round of the regionals. That is a home game. I also wanted to mention a couple of upcoming events. The City of Port St. Lucie Citizen Summit. St. Lucie Public Schools will be participating along with performances from Treasure Coast High Dance, PSL Chorus, and St. Lucie West Centennial High School Band. That's on the 18th at 9 a.m. at the PSL Community Center on Oroso. The Odyssey of the Mind, I will be at that February 25th, a week from Saturday at Treasure Coast High School. We have a lot of schools participating in that. And then the St. Lucie County Fair, all of our schools participate that. That runs from February 24th through March 5th. And please plan on visiting those Kiwanis displays. I also asked Chris Harrison, the board secretary, to send invitations to you with regards to a presentation. We were invited to the City of Port St. Lucie Winter Retreat to present on the district and our successes, which quite honestly is easy to do. We've had a lot of strain, a lot of successes together. That's going to be February 23rd at 8:30. The last thing I wanted to add was accreditation. So today, and yesterday and today, we had groups from the Cognia, which does the accreditation. They come through every 5 years. And I had my exit interview today with Cognia, and that report will be issued anywhere between 30 and 60 days to the board. But she did allow me to share a couple of things that she said would be in the report. So it concluded today. I wanted to thank Bridget Hargadine. Bridget, raise your hand. Bridget coordinated our efforts, but all of our senior staff, cabinet, wanted to thank all of you. They met and talked to many of you. Many of our principals were interviewed. We had students interviewed, parents interviewed, administrators at our schools were interviewed. And I will quote this, our district's review is an exemplar and one of the best she's seen in the country. The culture, they mentioned a common theme was evident across senior staff, principals, administrators, teachers, parents, and students, and that was a culture of high expectation that was echoed across the system. She mentioned also, and I think that was illustrated and ties into what we've done with our graduation rate, quote, we are light years ahead of school districts across the nation in how we promote equitable opportunities to all of our students. She said the report will be hard to write because we're really not weak in anything. We just have to make a few areas stronger. So I wanted to share that with the board because I do think, and we will actually do a deep dive once we get the results back, because that also allows us information on things we can build on. But once again, I'm very proud of the work that our principals and our teachers and all of our staff, and it's really, we talk about administrators, teachers, and principals, but the first interface that our children have with our schools is our bus drivers. Our bus drivers have the hardest job in the world, and they set the tone for our system. And we have some outstanding bus drivers, outstanding food service folks that interface with our kids in the lunch line. We have outstanding clerical workers and support staff. And a lot of those folks don't get the attention that they deserve, but they're part of our school system, and that's what we build our foundation on. And not only do we have outstanding principals, administrators, teachers, our senior executive cabinet, but I do believe that we have outstanding folks across our system, and we do believe that all children are capable of success, no exceptions. Thank you. That concludes my remarks.
Thank you, Dr. Prince. Attorney's report?
Thank you, Chairman, members of the board, Superintendent. There is no attorney's report tonight.
All righty, we have a citizen of school board members. We do have to vote on something. Citizen Advisory Committee nominee.
That was Andrea Dampierre, Andrea Dampierre. That is the union's. He submitted that name, appointee, moving forward.
We're just going to take that as a recommendation.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I recommend we approve that because that's the union's request.
That's good. I need a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Dr. Mills, second. Second by Ms. Holly. Any discussion? Seeing none. Those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Those against? Motion carries 5-0. All right, school board member reports. Dr. Mills, I'm going to start off with you today.
Well, I'm thrilled today, this evening, as the graduation rates and what we're doing as a district. Thank you, administration. Thank you for your hard work. Our liaisons that go into our schools, thank you for what you do, as well as each and every one of you. Also, of course, the teachers, and of course, the bus drivers, and the cafeteria workers, and the maintenance crew, and every one of our St. Lucie County family. Thank you for the work that you do. Thank you that you care for for our children, and it shows in our graduation rates. When I looked at the charts and we went over the information, and I saw where we at one point was at 63% graduation rate, I believe 68, something to that effect, years ago, and to be in the 90 percentile, and one of 4 schools in the state with over 3,000 students, to be able to accomplish that, we have to be doing something right. And I want to acknowledge that. And I tell you, there were times I really was very touched as the different schools came up and the banners came forward and we saw what is going on in St. Lucie County Public Schools. And I'm very, very proud of our district for the accomplishments that we're doing. It takes hard work to make that happen. As we all know, those of us that work within the district and work with children, it takes hard work. So I just want to acknowledge each and every one of you and let you know how grateful I am for you and how proud I am of St. Lucie County Public Schools. Yes, Martin Luther King Parade went very well. One of the board members keeps saying to me it's the best parade he's ever been in. So, and he was right. It was a very good parade, and there was a lot of good things that took place, and it was a big crowd out there as well. And I want to encourage the community, come on out to that parade because it is a sight to see. Congratulations to all our schools that was able to come in first and second and on third and all them different places, because I know you put a lot of work into those floats. Absolutely gorgeous. And of course, the Education Foundation was also a real honor to be a part of and to acknowledge and to be a part of the Education Foundation board. I think we have someone here, our board president, chair is here. And so thank you for the work that y'all do on the Education Foundation and acknowledging the great work that we do here in St. Lucie County Public Schools.
Mrs. Holly?
Yes, I'm not going to reiterate all of the groups again, but I think it's very fitting on this day of love that St. Lucie County is certainly showing the love for our students, for our staff, for everyone, for the whole community. And it just really makes my heart swell with more pride than you can imagine as a fourth-generation resident here to see where St. Lucie Public Schools have risen to. It is a day of love, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. Sorry we've kept you tonight, but I want to mention one other thing. I saw we approved tonight that student perks will be back in the administration building at St. Lucie County, and I'm really excited about that. I've missed that. So that's a great opportunity for our students, and look forward to that. So thank you all for being here and for being so supportive of St. Lucie Public Schools.
Thank you, Ms. Holly. Mr. Kelly?
Yes, first I want to say happy Valentine's Day, and I want to publicly say happy Valentine's Day to my beautiful wife of 58 years who I love. I'll say it in public. I do what I'm told. That's how you make it, man. I don't know if any of you noticed or saw, there was a football game on just the other day. On Sunday, I think. Anybody see that football game? Mr. O'Leary, raise your hand. You were there. I'm sure you saw that, yeah. There was a football game on, and in that football game, they sang the national anthem, and I think, what's his name? Was that Chris Stapleton? Fantastic job. He nailed it. And we know Whitney Houston, of course, sang it better than anybody in the world. That'll go down as number one. But, however, at the Night of the Stars, we had a group come out, and I think it was from Cass, the very beginning of the Night of the Stars, and we had the chorus group on, and they sang the national anthem. It was the best rendition by a chorus of the national anthem I ever heard in my entire 39 years. I never heard that was fantastic. I just wanted to give them a thumbs up.
It was actually just want to make sure it's LPA, Lincoln Park Academy.
Whoever they were,
Yep,
Lincoln
fantastic.
Park Academy, it was the best. So pass that on. They were fantastic, and hats off to staff. That was an amazing that was quite a production you guys put on. It was almost like making a movie. I mean, it was a long time. I think we shook hands with, what, 4,300 people we shook hands with? Something like Donna, 4,400, I don't know. But, and it started like at 3 o'clock. We got out of there about 2 o'clock in the morning. So, but it ran pretty good. It was fantastic. You guys, I was really impressed. It was my first one because we didn't have any the last 2 years. So, and Troy made me go. So, and with that, Troy, I want to know, is that a half-gallon big gulp you have there? Is that strawberry or raspberry or cherry? What is it?
I do know when you spill it, it makes a mess.
It's a big one. I mean, you know, you'd think as a chairman, if you buy a half-gallon like that, you could share it with the rest of the group here. But at least
Jack, it's
buy us
Valentine's
one.
Day. My wife is sitting in a restaurant waiting for
Okay,
me.
all right. I'm going to let you off. I'm going to let you off. Yeah. Fantastic job on Night of the Stars. That's all I wanted to say. Mr. Perry. Fantastic.
Mrs. Richardson,
You're here, right?
I was showing him the text. My wife is really waiting for me at the restaurant.
I am so sorry that she's going to have to wait at least another 10 minutes more, because I really have something that I want to discuss tonight or even say tonight. I wrote it down. So I'm going to revisit an agenda item that was presented at the January 24th workshop. Per the superintendent, the object of the exercise was to align with what the other districts in the state was doing, as this would make us consistent. So I'm talking about the scheduled and unscheduled speakers, right? Okay. So as a result, I decided to do some fact-finding for myself. And I think this is a very appropriate medium to be having this discussion, or for me to be making my comments. I decided to do a fact-finding exercise for myself to see how the other districts are conducting their meetings with regards to unscheduled speakers. I discovered when I called the 32 school districts that Neola is working with, I was told that they do not have scheduled speakers. The public who wants to be heard simply arrive before the meeting, fill out a card, and speak at the appropriate time. I'm going to give for instance, Miami. We talked about how long we are here. Miami, I discovered, is the 3rd largest school district in the nation. Did you know that? I was surprised because I didn't know that. I thought it was Chicago. Anyway, they beat Chicago. Their meeting starts at 11 o'clock in the morning. And it goes on until sometimes 8 o'clock. That's one meeting. Their public to be heard starts at 6. And as you can imagine, they have a lot of people with a lot to say, and everyone is heard, streamed, and recorded. I discovered that 29 out of 32 districts that Neola is working with allows unscheduled speakers who are filmed and streamed live during their meeting. Pasco County is the only county that does not stream or record their unscheduled speakers. Jackson County does not record or stream because they are an in-person meeting only. They do not stream, they do not record their meetings, they take their minutes by writing it out. So that's how we get their minutes. I added onto this Okeechobee, Palm Beach, and Osceola County. They are not a part of the Neola group, but I added them because we tend to compare ourselves with them. Okeechobee is an in-person meeting only. Palm Beach and Osceola streams and record their entire meetings as well. In conclusion, I repeat, 29 out of 32 districts that Neola is working with allows unscheduled speakers who are filmed, streamed, and streamed live during the meeting. I would like to see the unscheduled speakers as a part of the permanent record. That is streamed, recorded to align with what the other school districts are doing. This is what they're doing, 29 out of 32. I would like this to be added to the policy manual, as this would align us with what the other districts are doing. And it will make us consistent as well. So I don't know how you all feel about this, but these are facts. Feel free, knock yourself out, call the schools, and get, and verify what I just said. But this is what the other schools are doing, and if we are going to want to be in alignment with the other districts, then I think we should do what other districts are doing. So I want to thank the superintendent for addressing some maintenance and facility issues at some of our schools. I'm going to list a few of them: Dan McCarty Middle and White City, to name a few. The gym at Dan McCarty is in need of an overhaul, and as of yesterday, I received an email from Mr. O'Leary to say that all the windows in the gym has been replaced. Protective mats have been replaced, with the mats for the stage due to arrive and be installed any day now. The other issues on the outside of the gym are in the works to make the gym at Dan McCarty look like any other gym in the district. I'm guessing that there are still other things to be done, but these were some of the things that stood out. Thank you to the superintendent and the facility team. We greatly appreciate all that work that went in to doing all those windows on the top. It took some work. I visited Centennial, and most of the major issues were addressed there as well. We still have some projects to complete, but I understand that some of these delays are due to delay in getting supplies. I am very pleased with the progress at this school as well. Again, thank you to Superintendent Prince and the team for listening, not only listening, but getting the job done. White City is a work in progress. Some work has occurred. For instance, the playground fence that was peeling and rusting was replaced, making it a very safe place for kindergartners to play in. There is still a lot to be done, but as Neil Armstrong said, this is a small step for man and one giant step for mankind. So again, I can't thank the facility team, maintenance, or superintendent for making this happen. This is all part and parcel of making the campuses safe and a secure learning environment. I know for myself that I would not want to work or learn in an environment that is not conducive to working or learning. At the very least, it should be pleasing to the eye. Let's give our children a sense of pride. While I'm on the subject of a safe and caring learning environment, we just had a workshop relating to the discipline issues or the number of incidences occurring in the school district. So my interest was piqued at the last health advisory meeting we had, and my takeaway was health issues could be a root issue for behavioral problems. One of the nurses told this story. There is a student that had dental problems. As a result, he had discipline issues. The truth is, he had quite a few rotten teeth in his mouth, and needless to say, he was in a lot of pain. This pain he learned to live with. When he was asked, was he in pain, he said, yes. Where? Here. He was every which way, but he grew accustomed to the pain. It became his norm. So again, hence the behavioral issues, and it made sense. Superintendent, I'm sure that you have taken, and the staff, administration has taken this into consideration, that this could be a problem with, or an issue, or one of the root issues. And, I'm just throwing it out there that if we haven't considered health issues, eating, or, making sure that they're filled, I'm just trying to get to where, we just throw everything out there and the kids are, getting what they need. We are looking at these things that sometimes we don't even think about and getting to the root of that behavioral problem so that we can have a caring, a safe environment for our children, because sometimes you have to protect them from themselves. So if we haven't, I would, maybe something we can look into as well. So I visited the HBCU HSI College Fair held at Fenn Center earlier this month. And I was very pleased to see C.A. Moore and St. Lucie Elementary student participating with questions. And I was very pleased to see the representative from each college engaging the students and actually answering their questions. I was loving it. I mean, they were asking questions. They were into it. Train our children in the way they should go. So I would like to thank Dr. Perry, if he's still here. Dr. Perry, thank you so very much. C.A. Moore, I was very, very, very pleased to see those schools there. Thank you. Last but not least, I received a postcard from Mrs. McNeish's class. She is a 4th grade teacher at C.A. Moore. It was a thank you card signed by each of the 13 children in the class. It was unexpected. My first instinct was to go to the school, meet the wonderful children and their teachers who took the time to send me a card and to sign their names. This meant more to me than they will ever know. So I did go to the school and I met them, to meet and thank them. They were just as excited to see me as I was to see them. I had the honor to meet their teacher, the amazing Mrs. McNeish. I'm going to take the time to give a shout out to Toriel or Tori Roberts in Mrs. McNeish's 4th grade class. Hi, Tori, and you keep up the good work. He almost fell over when I called his name, because I called each child one by one and I thanked them. And he just jumped up and almost fell on the ground. He was so excited to meet Mrs. Richardson. I know these children are our future. Thank you, Mrs. McNeish, and all the educators at C.A. Moore for teaching them well so that they can lead the way. Continue to show them all the beauty they possess inside. I want to thank Principal Dr. Jackson for leading C.A. Moore. That's my report tonight. Mr. Ingersoll, you may go and have dinner with your wife. Thank you.
No, we're not doing that. We still have a few more things to take care of.
Well, I'm done, so as for my part.
Oh, no, that's fine. Thank you. I do want to thank Dr. Perry and the Education Foundation and Brandon Noble with Remnant Construction. You guys did a phenomenal job putting on the Night of the Stars, and it is just good to have everybody back. A couple weekends ago, Mr. Madden put on the Play Anything Goes. Well, he sold close to 6,500 tickets to the community, and it was a great production. The next one is Sound of Music. If you have a child that's interested in the sound of music, music tryouts are going to be towards the middle of March. Please stay tuned for that and look for that. Kiwanis, board members, you're invited to the Kiwanis opening of J.C. Park this weekend, if you're interested in that.
What time is that, Troy?
Yep, that would be a good question to ask.
Okay, all right. I got to make sure that's on my calendar.
I can figure it out. Michelle Franklin. It's at 11 o'clock. Arrive by 10:45. So. Last but not least, we are, hopefully you have read the books that we're looking at. That will be brought up at a workshop, and then we're going to vote on it in April. So we're going to workshop the books and the workshop in February, and then vote in April on the superintendent's recommendation. So I think I basically, Mrs. Richardson, you talked about the children and their mouth hurting and some other physical elements or needs that they may have. Mrs. Hensley was instrumental in the school district too, was instrumental in starting the hands clinic.
Yes.
And we have social workers and principals and assistant principals and teachers are all looking for children that have circumstances that prevent behavior. And we have interventionists that are trained on this. So we're grateful of what our school district does, but we're also grateful what our community has done too, where these dentists have come and volunteered their time to reach out to students that couldn't afford that type of care. So that's available, and I do appreciate the school district in how they train our teachers and staff. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, that was a great idea, Ms. Holly. The meeting changed from the second Tuesday in March to the first, which would be March the 7th. March the 7th at 5 o'clock. 14th because of spring break, and quite a few of us were going to be out of town. So thank you, Mrs. Holly, for bringing that up, board members.
And I will be out of town, but y'all go and proceed as usual.
Well, thank you, Dr. Mills, and I hope you have a great trip.
And Mr. Ingersoll, that's where I was getting my information from. There's the health advisory case, so the board I sit on, so.
No, thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to make sure the rest of us are going to be here in March, right? Good.
Okay.
All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to scheduled speakers, and we have Ms. Dale Galliano. And Ms. Shattuck will go ahead and keep your time. Just state your name, please, for the record.
5 minutes and you're on your way to the restaurant.
Nope, not done there. Nope, got one more.
Dale Galliano, St. Lucie County, Port St. Lucie. Make sure no one controls you. You will try to control you by using false reasoning that has no meaning. Their ideas depend on human teaching. They also depend on basic spiritual powers of the world. They don't depend on Christ. Colossians 2:8. Been a slow and arduous journey since 2021, and we're nearing the end of this part of the appeals journey. In 2 weeks, the workshop is going to feature the discussion on the books, then break into workshops, regular meetings, spring break, outside meetings, and then the final vote will be on April 11th. It's all dragged on far too long, with only one saving grace, that the books were pulled during the appeal. Or at least that's what we were told, but apparently not, but that's for another day. I've been with most of you and honestly believe that all of you have good intentions, but we also know what the roads are paved with when it comes to good intentions. Good intentions are filled with fear, lies, clever half-truths, and the hunger for power and personal gratification, all ending at the expense of the weak and trusting, also known as children, and uninformed or lazy parents. We're still dealing with fiction books, books containing everything from rape, pedophilia, bestiality, drugs, alcohol, suicide, murder, and subjects that are in this day and time could trigger just about anything in the innocent and immature mind of a minor child. Just because they know things doesn't mean they are capable of understanding or reason. Seems the school system likes to tempt and empower our most vulnerable with things the child thinks they can accomplish or do or engage in. After all, it's not real, it's just fiction. What is the big deal? Until there's a problem, a suicide, a brutal act, a kill list, or a rape, if you agree to keeping the appealed books, any of those actions will be on you. The books are inappropriate, and it's amazing to me on why you would even contemplate keeping any of them. Stick to the essentials. That's where you get these good numbers: math, science, English, comprehension, life skills. Get proficiency up where all children and all students have an equal playing field to excel in life. Funny how we tell our kids to wash their hands of the filth from outside before we sit down at the table for mom's good meal. But you and some of the parents see nothing wrong with getting rid of the worldly filth of these books that soil the minds of our children and their souls. My mission all this time has been to convince you to move these inappropriate books to the public libraries, where parents who want their children to read them can easily do so. No problem. With all the responsibilities attached to them. No problem, again. It should not be you or the tax-paying public to decide or to have that responsibility of the actions that may happen from having these books. When it's time for you to vote, I feel I've done my best that I could have done to try and save the county's children. Will you be able to stay the same? For all of us must appear before Christ to be judged by him. We will each be received what we deserve according to everything we have done, good and bad, in our body of life. How will you be answering for this? If your gift is serving others, serve them well. If you are a teacher, teach well. If your gift is to encourage others, be encouraging. If it's giving, give generously. If God has given you leadership ability, take the responsibility seriously. And if you have a gift of showing kindness to others, do so gladly.
30
Romans
seconds.
12:7-8. Do what is in your heart. Don't let the false prophets that are among you have the answers. Thank you. Happy Valentine's.
Thank you, Mrs. Galliano. At this time, we're going to conclude our meeting, and thank you and have a great night.